Okay, I forgot to unmute my mic. I'm just so like discombobulated because I've been doing all these interviews for February, so I can't even think straight. I'm just like, I think I overdid it. But the people are really interesting, though. I think you guys will enjoy these interviews when they air. The first of them will be coming up like on the date. I decided that on the days that I do What the Fuck Tuesday, since that's not really an unusual program, that I will have a February guest video run right before February. So you can watch, What the Fuck Tuesday, so you can watch that video and then just hang around for a few minutes, and then we'll start with What the Fuck Tuesday. I decided to do it that way because I don't know. I need extra time for the guests and like I said, What the Fuck Tuesday really is. It's just part of our regular program. It's just no big deal. So welcome to the show anyway. This is a weekly relationship advice live stream. People send in their questions in advance, and then my lovely cousin Candace, who is the grumpiest person on the planet, goes through them and decides which one she wants to use. And then she puts them into this little handy dandy document here. And then I read the question and then I respond to them off the cuff. She puts this cover page on here. I don't know if you can see it, but it has, no, I guess not. Anyway, it has the date on it. It tells me how many questions. There's 25. And so I don't start looking at the questions until I read them with you. So it's a surprise to both of us what it says. All right, so you guys ready? And if you have a question that you would like to submit for the show in the future, look in the show description down below and you'll see a link. You just click that and fill out the form, and there you go. Yeah, you saw that? Yeah, I put an agenda of like the titles on the community wall so you can see. And that's not even all of them. It's just like crazy how many guests are booked this time. But it kind of gives you an idea of the topics that we'll be covering during the month where we're talking about how you can win at life. Hey, Shay, it's my girl. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, so yeah, it should be like one of the most interesting Februarys that we've done. So let's get started with question number one. We have 25 questions to go. You guys feel free to send the link out and get some of your friends over here. I've been so busy with interviews, I forgot to do it. Usually I put it on my Facebook and all that stuff. I didn't do anything. So it's a whole bunch of people, unless they're a subscriber, they just gonna miss out. Okay, question number one. This is a young lady in the 22 to 26 age group from Denver. She's an Aquarius, she says. I'm 24 and I met some 32-year-old dude. Oh, that's not on Hinge. And he invited me out to dinner. He chose the time and the place. We made it there and it was a 30-minute wait. So he suggested getting a drink at a bar across the street. We ended up getting our appetizers there too, since the wait was a bit long. I offered to pay for the drinks. I didn't think he would let me, but he said it's okay and I could pay for the next. I guessed he meant dinner. Oh, that was convenient, wasn't it? Hmm. The drinks and appetizer was around $45. He paid. We made it to dinner and it rounded up to about $70. I paid. Oh, really? So you ended up paying twice as much as him, damn near, by tax and tip. This is interesting. So this was extremely unattractive to me, only because it was the first date. He knew he would get me to pay for dinner and ordered more appetizers and lots of extras. He chose the place and initiated the date, but I ended up paying for it. Outside of this, the conversation was okay. Honestly, the monetary portion of the date threw me off and was pretty gross to me. I've never had that happen. He texted me, but I haven't texted back. I think I am no longer interested. Do you and the squad think this is a good reason to cut him off? Yes, but see, I'm so petty. You know what I would do? I would go out to dinner. I would go out with him again and say, okay, well, since I paid for dinner last time, this time it's your turn, and see what he says. And then I would do just like him and just order everything under the sun. But if you don't want to be petty like that and you don't want to do that, then the best thing to do is just cut him off. Just cut him off. And you offered to pay for the drinks and he said was okay, you should have done that anyway. See, me, I don't never offer. So, I don't care what they do. I'm not paying. You invited me, so you're going to pay. Just like if I invite like some of my friends or something, or one of my guy friends, or any of my relatives, if I invite that person out, I pay. And there's no question about it. I don't even, this not even up for discussion. Even if they would try to, I would say, no, I invited you because I wanted to treat you, I wanted to, to do this for you. And, you'd have a good time. Whatever's the reason, I don't do that. And I would expect that same kind of thing from a guy. And if he, came with anything different, then that would just be the end of that, you know? Well, see, that's my thing too, Yellowstone. I don't understand why she offered to pay on a first date anyway. And he chose a place and he offered and stuff. You're supposed to keep your mouth closed. That is, like she pointed out, that was really the messed up thing. But I have learned, Yellowstar, I've learned that my ideas seem to be somewhat old fashioned or something because I get chewed out regularly by women who telling me, well, this not the olden days, you boomer types, even though I think I just escaped it. I think I'm on the new start of what is it called, Gen X. I'm on that part. But it depends on which chart. I'm either at the very, very tail end of boomers or the early years of Gen X. I mean, it just depends on which chart you look at, I guess. But in either way, so then they want to call you a boomer and say, well, it's not like that anymore. And so, if I want to know, go out with a dude, I'm going to ask him and, I'll pay and I'll pick him up and the stuff. And I'm like, well, golly, why don't you just, grow a beard and a mustache and whatnot and, just do it all then since you're going to be the man. But I really have a problem with this, and I don't blame you for nexting him. So you met him, you went out with him one time, you learned a lesson. Shut up next time. Don't offer anything. Just see what he's gonna do. He asked you out, okay? He met you on the site. He knows it's a dating site, and he met you out. I'm wondering if this is his MO. What he does is where he's guys getting, trying to angle for free dinners from women. Whatever is the story, it doesn't really matter, because you did eat and you did have drinks, and you basically went halves on the evening. So since you the kind of like to reach in your wallet, just eat this and just be quiet and don't do that anymore. Question number 2. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Fresno, California. He is a Taurus. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Okay, this is my question. If women don't want men to talk to them, how are men supposed to date them? I've never been approached by a woman in my 23 years of life. Oh my God, you're so old. The only female friends I've had is when I meet women through guy friends, and then I've only had the two my entire life. Okay, so 2 girls in 23 years. I try dating apps, but I don't meet whatever attractiveness threshold it takes to get likes or matches. If I want to date, the only option I'd have left is to try talking to women in person. But since women don't want men to speak to them, I have to avoid and not talk to women I don't know. But then if I don't know any women, I can't date. So now I'm back to square one. It's like a horrible catch 22 Groundhog Day. You poor thing. So what options do I have? Well, now that things, okay, I'm going to say this again because I have to keep saying this. I guess it's a new generation of men that don't know. There's a time and a place where women do want to be approached. They're there for that purpose. Where might those places be? Places that have been closed because of, guess what? That 5-letter word with the dash and the number 19 after it. So a lot of people haven't been able to get out and meet people, what do they call it? Organically because of that situation. But, there's like networking events, there's Chamber of Commerce meetings, there's, clubs and bars and networking events, and there's meetups and all kind of opportunities for you to meet people pretty much everywhere you go. I met guys in grocery stores, at bowling alleys when I'm there with my girlfriend, just drunk bowling, just wherever. I mean, there's always places where people are going to be in a happy frame of mind. They're, with a group, they're talking and laughing with each other. They're socializing with the people on each, road next to them, at sporting events, all kinds of stuff. Just everywhere you can meet people. But, just walking down the street, no, dudes want to do that. walk down the street and just start harassing women. Leave them alone. You don't know where she's going or what she's got going on, and you want her to stop what she's doing and run her mouth with you. And then when she says no, you're going to get all in your feelings. But you see, you don't know she could be going to a job interview. She could be going to meet somebody at the hospital. Her kid is sick and she got to get him from daycare. You don't know what's going on in a woman's life when she's on the street walking to and fro. Okay? That's not the time to be trying to, spit your game. That's not the time. Okay? The time is when it's an environment where that is conducive to that. That's when you do it. So think about that. Where there's groups of single people, that's where you would shoot your shot. Okay. And then, people are online like what's that stupid thing I was on and I bet you that mess up? What's that thing called? Clubhouse. They have rooms in there where that's what they do. It's called shoot your shot. And that's what that's all they do is go in there and flirt with each other and try to get a hookup going. I went in there one time. I was in there for about 33 seconds. I was like, oh my God, these people are crazy. And I left. And never went back. But I mean, there's all kind of opportunities like that. Okay. So just put on your creative thinking. Stop thinking that you got to run up and down the street harassing women, because that is just not going to work. Millions of men before you have tried it and they've all gotten shot down. The only ones who don't get shot down are women very, very desperate for attention. They would let some random stranger on the street they don't know nothing about, never seen before. I don't know if he got out of San Quentin that morning, but here they are grinning and skidding and giving him their number. Those kind of women are living very dangerously. That's my opinion. You don't know crap, and here you are inviting this man into your world that just thinks it's a good idea to catch up with women on the street. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group again, and it says someplace in North Carolina. Auntie, I need help. So I met this guy a year ago, and it was going so well, and we had incredible chemistry in person and online. We met up for several dates, but eventually decided to book a weekend break in Charlotte, as it was easier than traveling to each other's houses, as we live quite far apart. I booked a table at a restaurant and a hotel so we could make it a 2-day thing. You know you was doing too much, right? But let us proceed. I got all ready to leave, and he texted me saying he's been called into work and won't be able to make it. He's married. I was pretty understanding and not too mad, as I could cancel the reservation at the restaurant, but I couldn't cancel the hotel, only rebook it for a different date. Now it's 6 months later, and I've had to rebook this hotel several times. Oh, no, no. As each time he had a new excuse as to why he couldn't go, except he kept telling me how excited he was for the new date and how he was going to make it up to me. In hindsight, I'm probably very naive to believe those words, as he has now completely ghosted me. I'm left with a hotel booking that I cannot cancel and cannot afford to pay for by myself. My question is, how do I approach asking him to help me pay for this hotel? I don't want anything to do with him anymore. I just want to put all his manipulation behind me. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. I have never heard of a hotel where you cannot cancel. You don't, I mean, what they gonna do? They put somebody else in the room, okay? Especially if it's on a weekend. I don't understand what kind of hotel you booked where you can't cancel. Okay. Now, the second thing is I'm going to advise you to never, ever, ever do anything like this again. If a guy wants you to, I mean, why would you book the reservation and book the hotel? Why would you do that? There's certain things you women I don't even know what to say. Y'all be doing too much. I would never the only day that I would do something like that is if I was married to him. My husband gave me his credit card a couple of times. We was going to Hawaii. He's like, babe, just get, here, just, whatever. And this was before we got married. And so we put on his credit card. I wasn't paying. He bought the tickets. He paid for he just wherever you want to go, just book it. And here, give him the deposit on my card and all this other stuff here. So that's the only thing I understand is that, you might not get your deposit back, but you don't have to pay for the whole thing. So I don't understand what you keep talking about where you need him to pay. You're going to lose the deposit, but you should lose that as a bump upside your head for being stupid and booking the place in the first place. If he wanted to see it so bad, he's supposed to do that. You don't do crap except show up. Okay? That's, to me, is the mistake that you made. It is Sunday. I just don't understand it. I'm serious, you guys. I don't understand this mentality of these young girls. Y'all just do everything. You do everything. What is there left for the man to do in the relationship to show you that he wants to take care of you, be there for you, that you're special and important to him? You don't even give him the opportunity to do it because you step up and do everything. You do his part, you do your part, and you do the next dude's part too. I just don't understand it. Yeah, I hope she did learn her lesson. This is just, I just seriously, I just don't understand it. There's no dude in this world that's just that fabulous that I'm gonna be coming out of pocket like that and booking, taking all this initiative to do everything. I'm not gonna do that ever. Didn't do it when I was young, and I'm definitely not gonna do it now that I'm old. I'm not gonna do it. Just be like, well, I don't know. I guess you're gonna sleep in your car because if I had to stay with one of my friends or something, I would. But you can't stay here. I have friends all over the country, so you could crash a night here and sleep on somebody's couch or something. And I'm not such a big. I mean, I'll make what they used to call a pallet. I'll make a pallet on the floor. I don't care. I just don't want to pay no $250 a night for no stupid hotel. I'm not doing that. Even Motel 6 is expensive now. Let's move on to question number 5, from the young lady who wanted to do everything. Oh, I'm sorry, that was number 3. Okay, number 4. Question number 4. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group out of Austin, Texas. She says, this may not even be an issue for an advice columnist, but I need your take on the way my husband is acting since I gained weight. Most of the men write and complain about losing attraction to their wife when she puts on pounds. But my husband is the opposite and is way more into me instead. Oh. You see now. Dad, for most of my marriage, I have weighed anywhere from 134 on my wedding date right after college. I was slim but curvy, and I settled in at around 150 after having my kid. Now, in the last year or so, with sheltering in place and the gym being closed, my weight has jumped up to 180. Ooh, girl, 50 pounds? Okay, well, I guess, okay, 30. Ooh. And much to my surprise, my husband has seemed more into me than ever. He can't keep his hands off me, and he wants it all the time. I've been very surprised by this, and at first I was worried he felt guilty about something and was trying to push himself to be intimate to cover up for that. But I don't know, it seems real. He is always touching me and hugging me, and he was never like this before. I'm only 5'3", so at 180 pounds, I'm definitely not skinny anymore. Have you ever heard of anything like this? Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm laughing. And don't get mad. Don't get mad. But there's a name for this. When men like, heavier girls and they go after them, they call them Chubby Chasers. Don't get mad. I didn't make it up. That's what they call them, Chubby Chasers. And, I mean, I hate to say, a lot of men quietly is kept, they like those, the more meaty figures. Yeah, that's what they call it, kimchi. Now, that's a term from the 80s. I'm showing my age. But, yeah, that's a term from the 80s. They used to call them Chubby Chasers. As a matter of fact, I had a boyfriend who had a friend. He would get a girl who was kind of slim, right? And then he would feed her. He would feed her until she gained like 40 pounds. And then he was happy as heck. He just loved it. He just, so a lot of men like that. Women, because, when you gain weight, then, there's just more of you. Everything is more, what they say in Texas, more cushion for the pushing. That was a term I heard there, too. Oh, yes. You see, Sunday? Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Yes. That's what they call it. Like I said, I didn't make this up. Don't be getting the attitude of me. But girl, I don't know what to tell you. You better make sure your birth control is tight before you be pregnant with baby number 2. This is funny to me. Question number 5. This is a young man in the 18 to 21 age group from Baltimore. Ugh, dust capital of the U.S. Fluffy pieces of heaven. Mary Elizabeth be cracking me up. Well, hey, Onyx, little hellraiser, you. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay, so question number 5. This guy's 18 to 21. I met a cute girl with a lot of shared values. Hmm. We've been vibing and making out after each of our 3 dates that happened within just a week. When we're together, I can tell she's into me, but I'm always initiating our texting. When I text her, she responds, and it's usually good banter, but I'm not feeling like things are super reciprocal. I think it means that she's not that into me. What do you think? I think it means that she has good sense and she is the girl and she's making you be the man by not chasing you and be acting like a thirst bucket. You so used to girls being thirst buckets and aggressive and stepping out of their lane that you expect her to do it too. So you all in your feelings about it. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Young ladies, why do you have to chase a dude? I can count on one hand, even after marriage, the times that I texted my husband first. I called his behind first exactly one time. And we was long into our relationship. I guess we had been dating at least a year or two. No, not quite 2. Yeah, it was in the summer. Okay, so probably about a year and a half. And I called that fool, and he was talking to everybody in the background. He had some of his friends over and stuff, you know. Yeah, man. And the game was on. He was shouting at the game, and like how black folks want to talk to this TV in the movie. He doing all that kind of stuff, and I'm sitting there looking at this, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hang up and you call me when you're done. Yeah, babe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Click. Okay. That was it. That was the only time I ever called that man. Wasn't doing it. And I waited because, it was because when I want to talk to him, I want to talk to him, not to him and 5 frats and the TV and his other phone and the dog barking and all stuff. I want him to have carved out a space where he's ready to devote his time and energy to focusing on me. That requires the patience and the feeling that you deserve that from your guy rather than chasing him down, texting him all day long, calling him repeatedly, interrupting whatever he's trying to do. I mean, I don't understand this need to just be in constant contact with some dude. Don't you have something going on with yourself? Don't you have something to do to entertain yourself, to make you some money? Do something to develop yourself, improve your lot in life. Don't you have something to do? Why is it that you feel like you need to text a man 10 times a day, talk to him 4 times a day, morning text, summer conversation, noon, after lunch, this and that? What is all of that? I just never heard of no mess like that, but a lot of women do it. Yeah, she's throwing him out because she's making him be the man. And he's at 18 to 21. And so you're not used to it because of tonight's to today's, young ladies just be too aggressive, just doing too much. And then they wonder why, he don't really even pay that much attention to me. You think? He's never had to because you threw yourself at him. You chased him down like you were just dying of thirst, like Roadrunner or something. They don't have the patience to let a guy come, show his interest and come after them. They don't seem to have the patience for that. And it's really interesting. That 3-second attention span. It's an epidemic, Shay. Well, I guess I'm just too old then. I'll never catch that disease because I'm not calling nobody. I don't know. I just can't do it. Question number 6. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from South Bend, Indiana. Deb, this is not my letter. I saw it online and I want you to answer it so I can hear what your take is on this guy and his behavior towards his girlfriend. I'm sitting in the check listening with my tea. Letter, colon. So basically, me and my girlfriend argued all day yesterday. We've been together about 8 months, and she finally told me that she is a cam girl. Oh. I used to not know what that meant, but I learned a couple of months ago. Wow. When I asked her to go into detail, she told me that she goes online and guys tell her what they want her to do, and then she does it, and that's how she makes her money. I was completely caught off guard because she lied to me about what her job was. I got upset and said, "Well, if all a guy has to do to see you, bare is shake money in front of your face, then you're easy." Hmm. You said that to a girl that you've been seeing for 8 months? Hmm. Okay. Yesterday we talked again and we basically went back and forth. And she said, "You're so disrespectful for what you said yesterday." And I said, "Well, you're disrespectful for lying to me and showing your body to men." And she tried kicking me out and told me to leave before I hit you. And I told her no, because we need to talk. And she slapped me, so I pushed her out of my face. Her mom came in to break us up, and that's when I left. I'm just trying to understand how things escalated so quickly. I'm just trying to figure out where to go from here. You know where you go? To Antarctica. There's like an island there where all the stupid men go to live. That's where you need to be, right there. Freezing your patootie off in that 59-degree below zero weather that they have in Antarctica. That's where you need to be. And I'm thinking maybe in that cold you will find some sense. Because what you did was let your mouth say some foul, funky stuff that you had no business saying to her. Now, what she wants to do, I mean, see, this is my thing. If a man ever doesn't agree with what I do to make my money, I flat out ask him, "Okay, well, this is how much I make every month. This is how much I bring home. Are you willing to pay that? If you pay me that, then I'll stop doing that." And, they start looking at you and they be doing like this because they know they don't have that kind of money. They know they have that kind of money. What they want to do is run their mouths though and try to control you. Men that you're only dating, men that's not a fiance, men that's not a husband. Just some jackleg fool that you're dating. Want to start to dictate and control stuff and don't have no money. You know what my daddy used to say? You got to pay the cost to be the boss. Okay? So you trying to boss somebody and you don't have no money, son, you could just shut up then. You know what you should do is say, "Well, let's change your show. Let's put me, I want to be in it too, and we can make double the fun. We can just get in everybody's pocket." That's what you should have said. That shows you don't have no hood in you. Because the hood, we going to figure out how to make this work for us too. We going to, like, yeah, let's do that. Because on Saturday night, it's going to be a twofer. So then, he could get the ladies. She get the men, he can get the ladies. Don't you think that would work? If I was him, that's what I would do. That's what I would propose. But see, that's because that pimp mentality. I don't understand basically what is all this judgment about and why, she's not touching the people. They're at their house on the computer. So, I mean, what? Why are you so bothered by that? This ownership of her body? You don't own her. She can do whatever she wants to do. You don't have no say in it. Like I said, you want to bank with unasked no money, son. So you don't have a say so here. So what I'm gonna say, since you've already shown that you don't respect her, you don't even really like her that much, what you need to do is just go and block her number on your phone and go on with your life. That's what you need to do. Because you are too young and silly in the mind and too immature for this kind of girl. Question number 7. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from El Cajon, California. I think that's how you pronounce that. And a young man in the 28 to 34 age group also who is an Aries. Okay, so she's a Virgo and he's an Aries. That ain't gonna work. My fiance, he is 33 and I am 29, expects traditional gender roles but doesn't put any effort into it. We've been together for 4 years and I'm really annoyed. I need to know, how do I stop the growing annoyance of how my partner keeps spewing traditional gender roles everywhere and expects me to be a traditional wife when he doesn't go to work or provide or even earn money to keep us stable for a serious relationship. Wait a minute. Wait. How you gonna have a fiance that don't work and don't have no money? Wow. Honey, he couldn't even, just I can't even talk to nobody on my phone who's broke. It's like the sound breaks up or something. I can't. No. Okay, let's see what else Dust is going to come up in this letter. I'm not relying on him for money at all, but we're talking about a future together, and I don't feel secure in any way. We've talked about this over and over again, but he says I'm expecting too much from him. Oh, and I'm a bad guy for criticizing him for it. Oh, oh, wow. He says he needs time to show me that he can do it. But the past few years of being with him, he only took lowering paying jobs and jobs that make him feel comfortable, like delivery with no boss. That is, if he does go to work, because most of the time he struggles to even get up. He keeps telling me that love conquers all and we'll find a way. He wants me to be a good, submissive housewife that listens to him and takes care of the future kids in the house. He says he'll step up more when kids happen, but I don't feel secure to want kids at this point with him. What should I do? You should kick that dusty bum out. And then you tell him, I love you, but you go and you say you need more time. You got all the time in the world until I find somebody else. So you go and you get yourself together. And then when you get a job and you have at least $20,000 in the bank, then you check me out and I'll talk to you. We don't know. Wait, did she say he was 33? She said he's in the 35 to 42 age group. Oh, wait, that's the wrong letter. I'm sorry. He is in the 28 to 34 age group. Yes, let's see. He's 33 and I am 29. Yep. He's 33 years old and living off of her and just being a dusty. And he is an Aries, which, I don't know. I've met some Aries that are super hard working and, will have 2, 3 jobs, hustle on this. I mean, they just be getting it. And then there's the other ones that just don't want to do crap like this guy. They just think that they just a pimp or something. I don't know what they be thinking. And, just trying to live off going from one woman to the next, living like a hobosexual, with the Johnson thing paying their way. Because, since they tend to be a little bit a dust potato, since they tend to be, rather, what should I say, busy, in the mattress activities, they do tend to be, rather good in that area. And so a lot of women put up with it. I'm saying it ain't shit that good that I'm going to put up with that kind of nonsense. So, yeah, girl, he just got your number. He just keeps spewing that game. But what you need to do is wise up and kick him out. And just tell him, till you get a job, don't even call me. Question number 8, male, 22 to 27 from Tyler, Texas. He is an Aquarius and his female partner is, oh, wait a minute, 35 to 42, unknown. Well, maybe she's not a partner since it says unknown. And she's so much older. I'm 25 and recently moved to a new neighborhood and made friends with a few of my neighbors. One of them, a 38-year-old woman, okay, so you 25 and she's 38, took an interest in me and for the past 3 weeks has been constantly suggesting that we hang out and go on walks, grab coffee, hit the gym, etc. I've been politely declining the majority of her advances. We have some mutual friends and I heard from several different accounts that she does want to date me. I think she's really cool and I want to make friends with her, but I don't want to lead her on. I am not into dating women that much older than me. Yeah, not at 25. Should I confront her before she makes a move? How do I best navigate this without risking our chance of a good friendship? I'm going to tell you something. In a situation like this, you're never going to be her friend. You're worrying about the wrong thing. You're worrying about trying to be friends with a woman who is not trying to be friends with you. She wants something more. She wants something more. And while you're trying to throw that crumb of a friendship to her is a waste of time. So what you're going to have to do is find your cojones. You're going to have to find them, dig deep and find them, hold on to them. And then you are going to tell her, look, you keep, inviting me places and stuff like that. And, I can appreciate you, the neighborliness of it. But I'm getting the feeling that you're looking for something more from me. And I'm going to tell you flatly that that's not anything I'm interested in. First of all, I wouldn't want to date somebody that I live near. That's just, crossing a boundary barrier that I just don't think is a good idea. That's number one. And number two, you're too old for me. Now, why are you going to have to say that? Because she going to keep trying. And you're going to have to shut her down like once and for all. And some people might say, oh, that's so rude. I'm not saying that she's old. I said notice how I said that. You're too old for me. Okay? That doesn't mean that she's old. There's a difference. So, she's still in her 30s. So it's not like she's ancient or anything. But what you do, you're just a kid. I mean, you're 25 years old. That's a joke. And, she's on the downstroke to 40. No. So that's you're gonna have to tell her something in some kind of way like that, you know. And it's like, and I was judging by how you've been behaving, I would have said we could at least be friends, but I'm getting the feeling that wouldn't work for you. So I'm gonna deuce out, and that's gonna be that. I'll see you when we have some neighborhood events or something like that. But don't call me trying to hook up. Don't call me trying to invite me any place. Not doing anymore. Okay. Yeah, he ain't about all that. He's a kid. He's 25. So he probably want to date girls like, 19 to 24, maybe to 26 or 7, but definitely not nobody 38. That's not going to happen. Okay, question number 9. This is a male, 35 to 41 out of Green Bay. Oh, the losers. You lost to the Niners. You lost, you lost. You lost, you lost. Ha, 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 ha. Okay. Anyway, and he is a Leo, and the female partner, same age group, is an Aquarius. Oh, that might work. Okay, let's see what this is going on here. This may seem like a minor problem, but I don't like my wife's cooking. I don't like my wife's cooking at all, he says. Neither do our 3 kids. I thought it was just me at first. There's only one thing we all like, that she cooks. How I found out the kids don't like her cooking either was an accident. I never asked them. One time during dinner, she went to use the bathroom. One of my kids told me quietly that he didn't like what mom cooks, and the other 2 agreed with him. Uh-oh. So 3 kids, so the husband, that's 4 folks that don't like. No, that's not minor. Shoot, that's serious. Your stomach is, no. Usually how we get out of eating dinner is how we get out of eating dinner is to say that we already ate, or I'm not hungry. But that one thing that she cooks that we actually like, we're all at the table stuffing our faces. I don't know how to tell her that we don't like what she cooks without it coming off as rude or offensive. Any ideas? Well, if she has a birthday coming up, or well, Christmas already passed, so maybe, yeah, it must be a birthday or just a gift period. Get her a gift certificate to a cooking class, and what you could do is go with her. Okay, if you guys can afford a babysitter, you don't say how old your kids are, if you can be left alone, if you need to drop them off someplace. I mean, that could be a cost that might make this prohibitive, but I think that's a good idea. Couples taking cooking classes together. See, then you could cook together, and then you could supervise her cooking, because it sounds like she don't know what the hell she's doing. Okay, that's one option. The second option is you and the kids cook. Say, Mom, just sit down over there. We got this, right? You can get kitty cookbooks. You can look online. You can get cookbooks, old cookbooks that have really simple recipes out of the library. And y'all could flip through there and put posters on the things that you like. And then you could take them to your job and make a photocopy of that one recipe. And then y'all could take that up on the refrigerator, and you and the kids could cook at least a couple of times a week, right? That's another option. The third option is um, that you just cook by yourself without the kids. Because see, my thing is, ye who complains needs to take the job on themselves. Now, in my household, my husband was a better cook than me, except for he couldn't make. And that was what was so. His family's from Louisiana, but somehow that boy did not know how to cook like jambalaya, gumbo, etouffee, and all that kind of stuff. I, banged all that out. So I cooked that better than him, which I thought was so bizarre. But anyway, but like, fried chicken and barbecue and stuff like that. Oh my God, he could cook his butt off. And so, he would do most of the cooking. I would do most of the eating. It was a perfect match. But I'm telling you, it's just like, and then you don't say what it is, what the problem is. I mean, is it what she's cooking? Is it how she's not seasoning? what's the deal? Because I had a client, I mean, her kids told me, what did I bring in there one day? Oh, sweet potato pie. That's what it was. I brought some sweet potato pie into the gym, and the gym where I was working at that time was like 99.9% white people, which means I was the only black one, right? So I said, hey, you guys, it's like Thanksgiving was coming up. I said, did you guys ever have sweet potato pie? They were like, no, pumpkin, but not sweet potato. I'm like, oh. Now, Deb's sweet potato pie has won awards. I just wanted to let you know. So I whipped up 2 pies, right? I cut them up into little slices and I put them out there. The trainers ate them, the staff ate them, and my clients ate them. And one lady says, can I take some home for my kids? I'm like, sure. Her kids come to the gym the next day to thank me. And they said, my mom gave us some of the fried chicken that you made too. And, my mom's, hers doesn't taste like that. And I'm like, well, what does she put on it? Her daughter is 13. All she uses is salt and maybe a little bit of pepper, but mainly just salt. And I'm like, and that's how she cooks? So you know what I did? You know how do you go to the dollar store and they have like, not the dollar store, what's that stuff called? Oh shoot, I can't think of it. I'm seeing the sign, but I can't think of the name of the store right now. But anyway, they have like stuff, discounted prices. And so I got, like some seasoned salt, some garlic powder, some, I got like, I don't know, it's like $1 each or $1 something. And so I got like 10 or 12 things and I put them in a little gift basket with a bow in it and I gave it to her. And I said, try seasoning your food with this, and I bet you your kids will like your cooking more. And it worked. And they said after that she started, spicing up her food better. But I'm like, ooh, Lord, have mercy. No, it's something else with a B. Not Best Buy. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, that's where I went. And you got the little basket there too. Everything I came from there. Yes, that's what I did because my thing is this. I'm not gonna tell. Yes, it was shady, Maya. It was very shady. But it's the kind of thing like I'm talking to the big lots. There you go, Pisces. Pisces. That's exactly it. I knew it started with a B, but that's where I got all the stuff at Big Lots. And they had a basket there, with the little kerchief, little checkered thing. It's like napkins and stuff, a dish towel or something. And I put that in there. Then I put the spices in there, and I bought the ribbon there. I put the ribbon on there. I mean, it was very cute. Yeah, it was creative for me. I'm used to the kind. If I have a present for you, I'm gonna just give it to you, and it's just be like, yeah, just imagine it's wrapped up. But I actually put some effort into it. And then when I gave it to her, her kids were so happy. Yeah, that was shady, I have to admit. But it worked. So yeah, dude, you might, think about those particular options, which one you think you could do, and then, or start doing something like, I don't, again, you didn't say how old your kids were, but kids could like look at magazines or online or something, and then you guys could have a day. Like if you have a day in each of your 3 kids, so that's 4 days out of the week where each one of you, one of you would choose what you guys would have for dinner, and then you guys as a family make that recipe. And that way you don't make her feel bad. You make her feel like it's something you guys are in together. It's fun. The kids learn how to cook. You guys, it's a family activity as you guys prepare the meal together. And you got to think of how you're going to do this without hurting your wife's feelings. That's the important part. So you consider these options that I gave you. Which one, if your kids are old enough to, get in the kitchen and help cook, chop up vegetables or grate something or whatever they can do, age appropriate to help prepare the meal. And you guys find some recipes online that match their age and their skill set. And you guys as a family put together some meals. And I think all of you will enjoy it. And your wife will appreciate the fact that all the burden to prepare the food is no longer on her. Let's create a win-win here. Your stomach will be happy and she'll be happy too. And everybody be happy. Question number 10. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Coventry, England. My boyfriend, he's 27 and I am 28, have been together for 3 years and we bought a house together last year. This is the problem. My mom gets super upset. Let me correct myself. My mom gets super agitated over the fact that we aren't married yet and in a recent phone call, she became pushier than she's ever been. In her opinion, we were supposed to, she put that in quote, to get married last year right after moving out. In the end, she basically said, you're turning 29 soon. Tell your boyfriend you have to get married by the end of this year at the latest. I'm really not loving the idea of forcing a proposal. My boyfriend and I have already agreed we want to get married, and he has already said he has some plans in mind about how he wants to propose. I obviously want him to keep the details a secret because I love surprises. So I don't know when exactly he plans to propose. It may not be as soon as this year. No matter how many times I tell my mom that we want to do things our way, she insists that her way is correct. I know that she's getting pressure from our conservative Christian relatives, and this makes her uncomfortable. But I don't see her discomfort as a good reason to get married this year. My mom and I are really close, and normally she's a lovely person. So I don't want to do anything drastic like cut her off. But I'm getting exhausted hearing this kind of talk from her over and over again. My main dilemma is whether I should even tell my boyfriend what has been happening. He vaguely knows that my mom's been nagging me, but he doesn't know exactly what she said. I don't want him to feel pressured or cause tension between him and my mom, and I certainly don't want him to rush into proposing just because my mom says so. On the other hand, I don't want him to be blindsided if my mom brings it up to him and starts trying to pressure him directly. Oh, there's your cover right there. Should I tell him what's been going on, or would that make things worse? Well, it's not going to make it worse, but I mean, because it is what it is. But the main points you have here is you guys gonna go around her and he's gonna get blindsided because he won't know anything about it, and then your mother's gonna be mad because he hasn't taken any action, and he's gonna be like, "What are you, what are you talking about?" So I think it is a good thing to tell him. It's like I didn't really want to bring this up, but I'm concerned that you would be around my mother and she would land into you, thinking that you have some knowledge and that you're just intentionally ignoring her. So I'm going to tell you what's been happening. See, that's how you preface it. So it doesn't seem like you are telling him like, yeah, my mother said we need to get married. You want to do it like, I just want you to know what's happening so you can have your story straight. When, it's, if the conversation presents itself. But see, from my perspective, your mother is right. Sorry. You were supposed to be married before you commingled your assets with his. Unless you two went to an attorney and drew up some very airtight, ownership, responsibility, contribution, split kind of document, then what you did was stupid as hell. Okay? Dumb, retarded, all them things. And, from your mother's perspective, she sees you putting the cart before the horse. You went and did you did wife things, and you're not married. That's why your mother is like looking at you like, what kind of fool did I raise? That's exactly what's going on in her mind. She sees you putting yourself in a situation, you're just all blind to it because you feel like, well, I love him though. And we've been together for all this time, but you're not married. And now you have a property together. You're not an investor. You don't have a contract. You're not protected by an LLC, what you call it, an Inc. or PLLC, nothing. You're just a dumb broad that gave some dumb boyfriend your money. That doesn't make any sense. So, you want to be patient. You're entitled to do that. And I do hope it works out for you. But I do suggest that you let him know, give him the Cliff Notes version so that he's not, blindsided when your mother lays into him, because it's coming. It's coming. She's looking at both of you like, what the hell is going on here? You should have told him, yeah, I will buy a house with you after we're married. I'm not going to do that while I'm just a girlfriend. I'm not going to do that. That's something that married couples do together, not boyfriends and girlfriends. And then he would have said, oh, okay, then let's get married. See how simple that was? And if he didn't say that, then you always still be living in an apartment separately, or you could have lived with your mother or whatever. Save your money and stay with your mama and saw him and been into his apartment on the weekends or something. These girls just being hurry to just live with these dudes, and I don't understand it. I'm not doing shit. I don't want to. And I'm speaking from experience. I lived with a man when I was married. Lived with a man when I wasn't. Being married definitely is more security, more peace of mind. You just have more rights. It's just a better situation if you're going to be doing stuff like buying houses, investing in stuff, even buying a car. I wouldn't do that with a boyfriend either. I wouldn't do anything like investing any kind of money like that with a man, not even buying a dog. I don't think I would even buy a plant with him. We just get 2 plants. I'll buy mine and you buy yours. Because then when I leave you, I'm taking my plant with me. All right, let's move on to question number 11. This is a female, 20 to 34, from What is this? Windlesham in Surrey, England. Ooh. Dad, my boyfriend hasn't had a job in years. I pay everything with him, occasionally chipping in for food. This was with the understanding that he would spend the time looking for a job he actually wanted. He bought equipment for his business with some borrowed money from me and some from unemployment, but he didn't take on many jobs on purpose and has ditched it all now. Did you sell the equipment to get your money back? I would have. At the end of December, I gave him 6 weeks to get a job, and he's not tried at all. Just made excuses. I reminded him that his deadline is a specific date, and he again made excuses. He's trying to be extra nice and seems to be pretending like I didn't give an ultimatum, which is making me really confusing. He also has anger issues, which I can't cope with. So rather than tell him to leave in person, I prepared this text. Feedback from you and the squad is appreciated. Oh my God, this looks like a book. How you gonna text all of this? Okay, you guys, get ready. Okay. Quote. Keep in mind, this is what she's asking us our opinion on this that I'm about to read you. This is what she wants to text her boyfriend to make him, the one who's not getting a job after the 6 weeks notice. Okay. Quote. It really hurts me to say this. I gave you 6 weeks to get a job, and I told you that I wasn't going to pay for both of us to live here anymore. This is after years of paying all the bills so you can find something you want to do. I was more patient than anyone could have expected me to be. I offered to help however I could to get you a job, but whenever I mentioned it, you either ignored me or made a half-arsed excuse. It shows a total lack of respect for me and the future, and that hurts more than the money itself. I put up with this for so long because I loved you, and I kept hoping that you would change, but I need to put my foot down. I don't want to be with someone long term with a poor work ethic who doesn't want to keep trying to be the best version of themselves. I want a child in the next 5 years, and I can't see that happening like this. You need to move out. I'll give you a day to sort your stuff out, and anything you can't take with you can stay in the garage until you have a room, and I won't touch it. Please don't argue or get angry at me. I've given you every chance in the world, and this isn't easy for me to do. Should I add or remove anything? Yes, you should remove everything in the middle. You know what you're doing? You're choosing too many emotions. You just all over the place with your emotions. Okay, let me tell you how this would go if this was me. Well, she's in the UK, so half arsed is with how they say it. Okay, if this were me, this would be the note. I gave you 6 weeks to get a job. I've been more than patient. I don't want to be with someone long term like you. You need to move out. You have till the end of the week. The end. All these words, this is too many words. This is too much. You're doing too much. All you're doing is showing him that you have a lot of emotion connected to this. And he knows this is like a map to play you to get at your heartstrings and make you give him more time. That's why you don't, if you were really serious, you don't use all these words. You just give him the highlights. Yeah, okay, well, Josie summed it right up. Josie says in 2 words, get out. Oh, I just love my viewers. They're just hilarious. You know what? She's right, though. But, she feels like she has all these things. But, still, I gave you 6 weeks, right? Bam. That's a fact. I don't want to be with someone long-term like you. Again, another fact. You need to move out. Fact. I'll give you till whatever day you say, through 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever. Fact. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. And it's good to have that kind of stuff because if you didn't tell him all this stuff about 6 weeks in written form, so you're going to need some kind of written documentation that you gave him 6 weeks, and that would accomplish that. But since you all live together, he moved into your spot, you may have to file an unlawful detainer. Well, I don't know what they call it in the UK. Where are you again? Some place I never heard of. Windlesham, Surrey, England. I don't know what the deal is there about kicking people out of your place where they haven't paid to be there. But you might want to investigate that and then find out what you have to do to legally remove him from the premises. Question number 12. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Houston who is a Scorpio. I feel like a friend has come about in my, no, a trend, I'm sorry. A trend has come about in my relationships where I'm put in a position to be the quote responsible one. In my romantic relationships where we have broken up, I've always been the one in charge of setting the boundaries. I'm only 25, but in every case, the guy has always been the one willing to cross slash break boundaries. For example, texting me until I put a stop to it, using me as an emotional crutch for what he's feeling during the breakup until I tell him not to message me anymore, etc. I'm always the one who has to put a stop to things. And because that is always the position I'm in, it also makes me be the one at fault if there's any miscommunication. In my flirty relationships, not a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, the guy is always free to assume our relationship is something more slash open to intimacy, and them having that assumption that I'm open to it is never their fault. Even if I have previously and explicitly stated that I don't want more than friendship with that person, it's like they assume at some later point that I'm open to more, and it's my fault that I'm not because I didn't reinforce explicitly that I want nothing more than friendship that one time. Okay, I don't know what that was. Here is an example. I recently was in a situation where even though I said I don't want to be more than friends, he assumed that I did. Sure, I was wrong to be flirty. I thought we were just reminiscing about past stuff that we did together. But since I explicitly said previously I don't want more than a friendship now, I thought he understood that. We apparently had a miscommunication. But when we discussed this miscommunication, he made it seem like it was my fault for his assumption. But why was it not him to ask me explicitly if I was really open to what he was thinking? It's like it's on me to me only to say that I'm not, and not on him to say that he is and that he wants to know if I am too. I see why he would have assumed, so I have learned my lesson to just never be friends with exes from now on. But it made me realize that in my love life, I've always been the one responsible for setting and keeping boundaries, and like the men feel like they don't have any responsibility in that, which in their minds automatically makes any miscommunication my fault. Why are men also not responsible for being explicit about their boundaries and expectations? You know what? You was being stupid. Let me just tell you this, okay? You know that the guy was being flirty or he was crossing boundaries or something. You know what? You don't talk to them no more. You block them. You break up with a dude, you block him. He can't call you then, talking about nothing. There will be no miscommunication because you will be no communication. See, but you leave the door open for all of these knuckleheads to continue to harass you, text you, call you, ask you stupid questions, and say retarded stuff to you. And then you want to write me this long-winded, just waste of time letter to complain about something that you could have handled with two presses on your phone. You like drama. That's the only reason why you haven't blocked these fools. You want to have something to talk about. That means you need to get a second job, go back to school, get you some hobbies, do something sensible with your time. Because this is retarded. This don't make no damn sense to be having this kind of stuff going on in your life. It's you talk to a dude, and the rest of you, this goes for you too. You talking to a dude, right? You know that talking to phase, okay? And he comes at you sideways, crosses your boundaries, and says something foul and funky to you. You say, yeah, that was really interesting. I got to go. Let's talk another time, okay? You just, you're not going to do it, but you just say that because that's a convenient way to get off the phone. They be all excited, right? Thinking it's going to be a next conversation. And then when they hang up, you go, and it's blocked number. And then they can't call you no more. And you certainly won't be calling them, right? And when you have an ex, once you break up, you can never be friends with your exes, ever. There's a video on the channel about that. Pay attention to it, listen to it, and take heed, take notes. There's no friendships with exes. There can never be a friendship with an ex. There's always going to be some BS and drama every single time. Okay? Yeah, gots to go. Be like my friend. I have a friend named Leah. Leah's so funny. She has this line, and I teach about it all the time. Like if she's tired of talking to you, or you talking some nonsense she ain't trying to hear, she'll be like, yeah, let me call you back. And she says the exact same way every time. And she says that when I be around her and she says that to somebody on the phone, it's all I could do to keep from falling on the ground and rolling around. Because I already know she ain't going to, hell will freeze over. She still won't call that person back. But the way she said it, she has like this sweet tone of voice that you just never know. You would never know. Except I know her. I've been knowing her for like 15, 18 years, something like that. So yeah, I know. So, yeah, let me call you back. And the way she says it's just so sweet. So I suggest you kind of practice that, get the Leah thing going, and let me call you back. And then as soon as you hang up, you block them. Okay? I don't understand you girls keeping the door open to all this kind of stupidity. You know the dudes are trash. Why do you let them still have access to you? What is this need for all this drama from these idiots to be coming in and out of your life? I don't want no fools on my phone. Using up my minutes and stuff, my free minutes. Yes, why? Maybe you guys can explain that to me. And if you have an idea, put it in there and I will read it later after the show. Because I'm sure why are women so afraid to block men? What is it that they think is going to happen? This happens all the time, as you know. They just don't, the block feature just seems to be something they don't want to utilize. Honey, blocking, no, is my two favorite things. Let's move on. Question number 13. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Northampton, East Midlands in the UK. Hi, Deb, Candace, and everyone. Hoping you can give me some insight into why I feel the way I do. I've been with my boyfriend for a little over a year now. These past few days I've been feeling really stressed and definitely feels like trying times for me. I absolutely love him, but during these past few days it feels like a switch just flipped and I can't bring myself to love him like I used to. It just feels like we're complete opposites and the compatibility just isn't there anymore. He seems to be distant too, as he recently quit his job and just plays video games all day. I just started my new job and I've been busy working a lot. I know the right thing to do is to break up with him, but I'm so afraid of how he will react. I just want to be single again and do what I want to do. I want to travel, but he seems to always complain about money. I just want me time and not have to worry about anyone else for a change. I've always been so independent, but he does not like that and has always have to miss out on stuff and opportunities because he doesn't like me being without him. I just want to excel and I feel like he's weighing me down. What should I do? Pack and leave. Find out when your lease is up if your name is on it. And then tell him when the lease is up, I'm moving and I'm moving someplace without you. And the reason why, because I want to do other stuff and I don't want you with me. That's what I did. That's one of my exes in Texas. I called myself limited. I don't know why. Don't even ask me what I was thinking. Supposed to be engaged to this fool. And I decided I didn't want to it's very similar here. I just looked at him one day and was like, ew, you're gross. I don't want to be here. I don't like you. As a matter of fact, I can't stand you. This is before I even saw War of the Roses. And I was like, ooh, I hate the way you look and I hate the way you chew too. I hate everything about you. And so, I went and found me an apartment. This ain't nothing to him. And I packed my little stuff up. I had a couple of friends come, put the stuff in their trunk, drove off. And then I came back that night and gave him his key. And he was like, well, what's going on? I said, oh, I'm leaving. You can't leave. You're on the lease. I said, oh, no, I'm not. Only you signed it. I didn't sign nothing. And I was like, ta-ta. And I was gone. And that was that. But it just happens like that sometimes. I think a lot of women question themselves because they're afraid to trust the fact that their gut is telling them that this is over. This dude is like a waste of time. There's nothing here. It sounds like you've lost respect for him. He's not doing anything. He's just sitting around playing video games. And here you are, busting your butt on your new job and doing everything, and he's just doing nothing. That is guaranteed to make a woman lose respect for a man. And you just, you're so young, you probably haven't really tuned into what that is yet. But, as women, we have a need to admire our dude. We need to admire him. We have to respect his hustle. Respect what kind of person he is and how he rolls through the world and stuff like that. His decision making. And if you have a guy who's not doing anything, he's not making decisions, he's not making any progress, he's just bumping along, you can't respect him as a man. And if you're the kind of woman who has to have a man that you can respect, then this kind of dude is not going to do it for you. And you're going to just, want to leave him alone, and that's what happened. Question number 14, female, 22 to 27 from Toronto, Canada. She is a Pisces. Thank you, Candace, for choosing my letter. I am 26 and a guy around 50-ish that used to work with me in this startup company. There were about 75 to 100 people total. We were friendly, but honestly, I didn't talk to him much, just hi and bye, very casual, quick conversations because we worked in different departments. I think, okay, wait a minute. He's 50-ish and you're 26. So that means he's like twice your age. I've had other former coworkers contact me through LinkedIn to say hi and stuff. So the initial contact I didn't find unusual. About 2 years ago, I quit there to pursue a different industry, and that was that. Well, yesterday he sent me a message in LinkedIn, and the following conversation in Messenger occurred. Him, hi, name, hope all is well. I see you left old company and are back in school. Good stuff, especially with electrical engineering. So how's everything going for you? Me, oh yes, I went back to school and I'm doing great. Just staying busy. How about you? How is life? Him, I'm okay. I'm trying to stay busy. And I also left company after completing my contract and now I'm looking for work. It's time for change. It was way too much stress. I don't know if you ever realized it, but it's just like I said, time to move on with a new challenge. Me, I understand. Well, I'm glad you made a choice that was best for you. And to be honest, now is probably the best time in recent years to switch jobs. Wish you the best of luck. I know you'll do great. Him, thanks, name. Perhaps on your free time we can catch up with lunch. Okay, that's the end of the quotes. Thank God. Now, this is kind of weird to me. We barely talked when we did work together. So why would he want to catch up at lunch? If this isn't asking for a date lunch, well, the answer is no. Deb, he's my dad's age, and I'm not interested in him like that. Ew. My two questions to you are, number one, do you think he was asking me out on a date, or am I overthinking it? And number two, how do I say no as politely as possible? I'm going to say this. It doesn't matter if he was asking you out on a date or a hangout or just to catch up or whatever. You don't want to be bothered. So what you say is, okay, why do people always want to be so polite? Is something wrong with me? Because I don't waste my time trying to be polite like that. I mean, if he was paying me, then I would try to be polite, right? Because it's somebody like one of my clients, try to that move something over to the other side, then I might be polite in my response to him, but I'm gonna still shut it down. But some knucklehead that I just don't even, you know what I mean? From some ex job who's twice my age, he'll be like, Grandpa, why would you think I want to go anywhere with you? I'm not interested in you like that. I barely talked to you when you did work together. I'm not gonna do that. What do you even waste your air asking me that for? Okay, that's one response that I would probably say because I'd be so like grossed out, you know. Somebody twice my age? No. Okay, then, or if you want to take the middle of the road, you could just lie and say, "Oh, that sounds really nice, but I'm going to be busy not doing not that." See, I'm like my boyfriend wouldn't like that. I don't think he wouldn't like me going out to have lunch with other men, and I want to respect him because I wouldn't want him doing that with some other woman. So, no, thank you. Now, the problem with doing that, being the nice person, is, giving some excuse, he's going to come back for try number two. That's why I prefer the savage and direct approach because it shuts it all down. Call his ass grandpa. Gramps, we're not doing that. So you figure out how, what kind of terminology, which one of those approaches would work best for you. But like I said, if you do the nice approach, prepare for him to come back, circle back another time. So the best approach is either to say your boyfriend's not going to like it or that he's too old and you're not, want to be going to lunch with no old man that's going to be pulling his teeth out and putting them on the table and stuff like that. Question number 15, male, 22 to 27, in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. He's a Cancer. I'm 26 and I was seeing a girl the same age for about 9 weeks. That's all. We hung out 3 times a week on average, I'd say, and we both enjoyed the time we spent together. So I thought. Anyway, last Saturday at 2 a.m., look at him, he's all specific. We have a phone call. Who talks to somebody at 2 a.m.? I've never done that. She gets upset and hangs up. She texts me that she's done and no longer wants to speak or see each other. All I want is one final conversation so I can ask why and get some answers. But it's becoming evident that it won't happen. Am I crazy to be analyzing this over and over again, trying to think how I messed things up when I thought we were both on the same page? We both admitted that we were falling in love about a week ago, so I'm truly confused and I need closure. You don't need closure. You need your head knocked in. That's what you need. You need somebody to take you. You know how Mo used to slap the other three stooges? Just line them up and go, that's what you need. so you could get a clue. Okay, first of all, the girl's probably irritated because you was calling her at 2 o'clock in the morning. What kind of thirsty nonsense is that? You just a bugaboo. Okay, you call some woman and show her respect at some decent time of day in the middle of the night. What's wrong with you? Okay, then because you only been dealing with her for a few weeks now. It's not like she's, your girl and y'all in this tight relationship and been together for months or years or something, right? You just met the girl. You had no business calling her that late. Okay, now that's the one thing where she's like, this guy just bugging me. Okay, yeah, 2 a.m. That was the first thing I said. This is 2 a.m. And so she's like, she's done here. Okay, then you want to have a conversation and think about how you messed things up. You messed up by calling her at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, then we were falling in love. Okay, well maybe you were, but now she's not, and so just get over it. And you need closure. You don't need any closure. There's a video on here about what closure is and how it's a fantasy made up from romantic dribble. Yeah, this is bugaboo and immature and stuff. Calling somebody. You call me that time of night. Anybody you call me after 11, I'm gonna cuss you out. And that's just the way it is. You're gonna want to hang up, like real quick. And then when you start reaching for the phone, you in the future you would look at the clock and say, "Oh shoot, it's after 10. Let me not call her because she's crazy." She said she don't want no calls after 10 o'clock. I'll call her. I'll talk to her tomorrow. Yeah, he just seemed. This is the kind of dude. Yeah, male, you're right. They just grab onto you. They just glob onto you. Oh my God, wait, I have a side story. Okay, I went out with this dude. Where did I meet this guy? I think I met him at the Bank Exchange. It used to be this club under the Transamerica Pyramid in San Francisco that was really popular. I used to go there all the time. Okay, so I go to the Bank Exchange, and that's where I met this guy. And he was a Cancer. I had never dated a Cancer guy before, and never dated one after him. He ruined it for everybody in my entire history of my life. Okay, so I meet the dude, right? And he had a motorcycle, which was fun because I used to ride my Uncle Charlie's motorcycle with him. So he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick you up. Let's go for a motorcycle ride." I'm like, "Oh, yay!" So I get on. We go. Okay, this is one date. So then after the date, he comes in and stuff. We talk and stuff. I gave him a beer. We just sitting there chit chatting about what we saw in our day and whatnot. And then he starts telling me about how we're a couple now, and I need to tell my other men that I got a man and all this kind of stuff. And I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure out who he's talking to. Now this is my days when I was dating 2, 3, 4 dudes at the same time and having myself all kinds of fun. I was not thinking traveling with my girlfriend who was a flight attendant, just being just the original fool, okay, the one in the dictionary, everywhere. And so that's what he said. I said, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna do that. And he's like, well, why? And I'm like, because I'm not trying to have no boyfriend. You tripping? I'm just out having a good time. I'm single and I want to stay that way. Well, I'm looking for, somebody I want to be with and I want a wife and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, hell no. You tripping after one date. Okay, I met him at the thing. We danced and stuff. We bought a drink. We chit-chat a little bit, exchanged numbers. And then we went on this one date riding motorcycle. It was a couple of hours. I mean, it was fun. But I don't know. It was just so weird. So, this thing, Cancer men, they glob onto you too much. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm telling you that Leo, I just need to roam free. And it's not like, you see lions, what do they be doing? Nothing. Laying around, they go and lay on this spot, then they get up and walk over here and lay on this other spot. They don't do shit. But we want to do it where we want to do it, when we want to do it, in the way we want to do it, and we don't want you trying to tell us what to do. He probably did love me in that one day. I know I'm wonderful and fun and stuff. He was laughing the whole day. And I saw him keep looking at me with this weird, like moony eyed look and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this can't be happening. After just one date? Shut up, Mary Elizabeth. Mary Elizabeth is so stupid. Where did she come from? Send her back. Let's exchange her. She crazy. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was weird. So, no, can't do it. Let's move on. That I had my willies about my flashback moment to Cancer men. Can't do it. I can't do Cancer men. Scorpios are the worst. The ladies, yes. The men, absolutely never. And Pisces men, my oldest brother's a Pisces. No on that too. No water signs for me. Fire and water, I don't think that makes a good match anyway. Question number 16, female, 22 to 27, from Phoenix, Arizona. She is a Pisces. And she says, I feel like I'll be single forever because I physically can't date people who date others at the same time. Oh, you need to hook up with the Cancer dude that I used to go out with, that I went out with that one time. I'm 25 and I need to know, did you do that when you were my age, Deb? Oh, and I was just talking about that. I remember you sharing how you always dated 3 guys at the same time. I just can't do it. I literally feel physically repulsed when I find out that they are going on dates with other people or dating someone else. And it stops me from building intimacy or a connection. How do you ladies deal with it? I've always focused on dating one person at a time. I would draw the line after the 3rd date. What repulsed me the most is when they spend an extended time with you, like 5 hours to 12 hours. Who goes on a date that long? And talk about a girl or other dates constantly. You're supposed to end that. Okay, let's start at the end and work backwards. You have a man in your face that wants to tell you about other women and other dates he's had. You're supposed to say, look, I'm not trying to hear about your conquests, and I don't know what the hell you're telling me all of that for, but it's boring conversation, and I don't want to hear it. So is that all you have to talk about? If so, then this date is over and I'll deuce out. Okay, that's how you handle it. You don't let them do that kind of stuff to you. The only time I let a guy do that is when he took me out to dinner. It was a blind, hookup kind of thing. And he took me to the restaurant I wanted to go to, El Pescatore in Jacqueline Square in Oakland. I used to love that place. And he said, wherever you want to go. So we met there, and he paid, and I ordered everything that I usually order. I mean, the same meals, the shrimp scampi, the Caesar salad, and the creme brulee. I always ordered the same thing. So he ordered, he paid for everything. And then he ordered it, what I ordered too, right? So now here's 2 orders of shrimp scampi. And he's sitting there just running his mouth. And I said, I ate mine. And then I'm looking at his. I'm like, are you going to eat that? And he said, no. So I switched plates with him. And I ate his shrimp scampi and his pasta and part of his salad. Because then I was too full. I couldn't eat everything. And then I took his dessert home. And the whole time we were there, he talked about his ex. And so at the end of the night when he was finished, I said, you know what? Sounds to me like you're still hung up on her. So maybe you should try to get back together. That's all I said, because I didn't care. And he paid for the dinner, and that was it. It was the last time I ever saw him. I assume he went and got back with her because that's all he was on his mind. But honey, yes, I was so sick. Oh my God, I ate so much. I ate so much. Oh, I was just a pig. But it's like, how could I could? It was my favorite food. I was like, and their stuff is good. Ah, man, I ate 2 meals, man. I ate mine and his. Little greedy pig. And I was way skinnier then than I am now. That's when I used to run. It was like a stick. But I sure could put some food away. Oh, that was so funny. But anyway, so, okay, that's the end part, okay? So you shut that down. Then as far as, thinking about that they're going on dates with other people, why do you care? See, you are one of those kind of people that invest emotions in everything. You got to get your mind right. You just meet a dude, you don't have any emotions invested in him. You don't even know this clown. So what do you care about? What he's doing? Everybody's going to date more than one person until they decide who they like the best. And then they're going to drop everybody else and just date you. Okay, but you don't want that. You want that kind of commitment and stuff right from the beginning. And I'm telling you, that's an unfair and unreasonable and ridiculous request. Okay, now if you both decide that real quickly and you both drop all your other people, that's fine. But you're going in the gate demanding that kind of commitment from somebody that's a complete stranger. You are going to be single forever if that's the way you're going to operate. I'm trying to tell you that's not how you do things. You don't have to sleep with them. And then if you don't sleep with them, then you won't care what they do. You don't have to kiss them. You don't have to do nothing. The whole idea of dating is to spend time with them and talk to them. So you decide how far you go. That's not a given. I mean, if you want to, you grown, do it. But if you don't want to, then don't. Fire and air signs are compatible. Yeah. Although my husband was a Taurus, but I think he had a lot. I forgot. At one point we did have our charts done, and we were supposed to be like 90 something percent compatible with, the mixture of airs and waters and, different things like Mars and this and that, whatever it was. That was a long time ago. I threw all that stuff away. But, it was really amazing because it wasn't just on the sun sign. They went on moons and Venuses and Mars and Pluto. I don't know, just all kind of stuff. This lady just went deep with it. And it came out to over 90% compatibility. I was like, wow. But yeah, this young lady, you need to just stop with this. You young and you dealing with young dudes, and you think that you gonna be their one and only as soon as you meet them. Good luck with that. Question number 17, female, 20 to 34, out the UK. That's all it says. No location other than UK. I'm considering ending my long-term relationship because my partner is effing useless and lazy. We have young children, one of whom is only a baby. An example of his uselessness is he works early some days, and so home before school and nursery pickup. The kids will come home from school and he'll get them changed out of their uniforms, but he doesn't put a single thing away properly. So the next morning is an absolute frantic, resulting in being late search for someone's shoes, uniform, jacket, tie, etc. He also has little to no drive regarding his family. He does nothing in the way of bettering our life. He never takes initiative to plan holidays or days out with the children or me. He's like an extra child who does some chores occasionally. Usually he gets up, goes to work, comes home, does the dishes, goes to bed, and repeat. I feel like he adds very little to our family life, but definitely makes things so much tougher than they ought to be. The one example I use above, it can be like 10 plus things like that in a single day. We're chasing behind him, fixing the messes he has made. I just left thinking everything would be so much easier without him here. Deb, I could think of a million examples, but they're all along the same kind of lines. What makes me hesitate is that the relationship is good otherwise. Do you think I am overreacting, or are these valid reasons to end a long term relationship with young kids involved? This is why, if you're not married, you don't have babies. Keep telling y'all that. You don't fucking listen. Okay, so you could have escaped out of this just yourself. But you was doing stuff backwards. You're not married. You shouldn't have been having no babies. Okay, and that's number one. Okay, now let's move on and talk about him. The other day I was trying to explain this process of weighing what you need in a relationship. And I'm not sure that everybody got it, because there's, like, say you have a list of 10 things, and people like to assume that each one of those things is 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. That's not at all true. One of those things might be 50%, and the other 50% is divided amongst the other 9. That is where it becomes confusing, and I think a lot of men especially don't get it. The fact that she has to chase behind you, clean up after you, remind you to do stuff, constantly picking up after you, feeling like you're an irresponsible child. You don't do anything to make her happy. You don't go out of your way to do anything to interact with her or your kids. It's making her feel resentful. She has the responsibility for everybody and everything, and all you do is wash some dishes. And so, I hope that better. Maybe I'll make a diagram or something and make a little quick video about it, because I think a lot of people just don't get that, and they feel like, well, the relationship is good except for that one thing. Yeah, but that one thing encompasses, 50, 60% of the relationship and her agony, whereas that other, you try to depend on that 40% to carry you through, and it's not going to happen that way. The woman is angry, she feels put out, and she's resentful. Those kind of feelings like snowball down the hill and gain momentum and gain weight and gain strength until they just bowl over the whole relationship. And that's where she is now. And so she's going to leave him, and he's not going to, yeah, well, he does the dishes, big whoop-de-doo. A teenager could do that. We was washing dishes at 8, 7, 8, 9 years old. We couldn't handle the knives that early, but we was washing dishes. So, that's not like, as a husband that he's really contributing anything to the family dynamic. He would probably do more with visitation because he would just be there by himself and he'd have to interact with the kids. This is terrible. Oh, oops. Hold on a second. Actually put the page here. Where am I? Put too many pages. Oh, here we go. Okay, question 18. Male, 28 to 34 from Columbus, Ohio. He's a Taurus. And a female, 28 to 34 as well, a Gemini. I want to start by saying that my wife, she's 30, is a great mom, and in no way am I worried about my kid. We chose to have a child. It wasn't an accident. My wife went to therapy for postpartum depression, and I try my hardest to sympathize with what she went through. But I'm 32 and the father of the most amazing 2-year-old little girl I have, and I love being a dad. I have to say that being a dad has been the most amazing experience of my life. It has given me a sense of purpose that I've never felt. I came from a very impoverished background, and I get so much joy from providing my family the things that I always wished I had as a child. Oh, that's sweet. That's towards men are about their kids. This experience seems to be very different for my wife. She often expresses how she can't wait to get through the stages that we're in now so she can have all her freedom back. We both work full-time jobs and equally share in all aspects of parenting and housework, so it isn't like she's with my daughter constantly or carrying the workload alone. I'm a very active, present parent. I handle the wake-up routine, I handle baths, and I put her to sleep at night. It seems like my wife is always so frustrated when I arrive home after she has had her alone for a bit. She also seems frustrated when we're all home for the entire weekend with no gaps of our daughter going to the sitters. Her patience for my daughter seems to be getting shorter and shorter. Honestly, it breaks my heart to see. Oh, this is not sounding good. Our daughter's obsessed with her, and she will be trying to play, interact, and share excitement with my wife, but my wife is just so short and acts so bothered by her energy. This has been going on for a few months, but last week was the point where I knew I needed to do or say something. The three of us contracted Omicron. My wife and I are fully vaccinated, but we both still got pretty sick. During our quarantine, there were some difficult moments of having to be a parent while trying to fight through this illness. The issue was that my daughter was sick too. My wife acted so frustrated by everything my daughter needed and even more annoyed when my daughter would get short bursts of feeling good enough to play and be a toddler. She helped me make sure that she had everything she needed, but there seemed to be no tenderness. It was like she wasn't understanding that our baby was feeling just as bad as we were. It really shook me, Deb. Ooh. I had already decided I wanted another child someday, and we talked about it, and my wife made it clear that she does not. I respect that decision as it's her body and infinitely more of a difficult decision for her to carry another child. I respect her enough that I never press her on it, though it does make me a bit sad. I love my wife, and her happiness is equally important to me, but I'm struggling with what to do about how she handles our daughter. She doesn't come from a very loving family background, and I don't want that cycle to continue with us. My family is falling apart. Any ideas on what I can do? Immediately get your wife and yourself into couples counseling. Oh, I have a video on the channel titled when Women Find Out That Motherhood is Not All That. I think that's some of what she's experiencing right now. And people think it's bad when they're little. And it is. I mean, they do require a lot, especially at 2. 2-year-olds are the most abused age of children. They are the age that are the most, they don't make it to 3. Let me just put it that way. 2-year-olds, I don't know what it is. This is on the Department of Justice website. I read the most random things just to keep up with what's going on. And I was shocked when I saw that 2-year-old children are the number one statistics for that kind of stuff. So, some of that, I mean, they are a handful. They are really, challenging at that age. You seem to be dealing with it really, really well, and she's not. So I'm going to suggest that you look into that because there's something going on with her. You say she's come from a family where it's not very warm and loving. She might have had this fantasy version of what motherhood was going to be, and the reality of how exhausting it is and how much is required of you to take care of and provide not learning and discipline and teach a little child like that, they do have a lot of foundational teaching for them to do. How to eat, how to dress themselves, how to potty train them. I mean, everything. Talking, walking, counting, learning their ABCs. I mean, just there's just so much socialization and baseline education that you have to provide for them at that age. And what happens now is going to be who your daughter becomes. This is the foundation for who she's going to be when she hits grade school. So it's very important that you teach her boundaries. You teach her, how to be polite to people. You teach her, how to dress herself and what kind of things she can and cannot do to people. Not to sit on different folks' laps or be climbing on. There's all kind of things that you have to put in place, especially when you have a little girl. You know what I'm talking about. So, but I'm really concerned about her mental state and the fact that she's not really, seems like really bonding with your child. That's a problem. Most mothers, with their little ones like that, they don't want to let them out of their sight. I mean, they go for a baby, but they call them the babysitter, like, oh, what's they're doing? It's just really different. She's really struggling with this dude. It's good that you recognize it. I mean, you're so much leaps and bounds of past most men who's like, ooh, I don't know what's going on. You observed it. You see it's a problem, and you're writing to figure out what to do about it. So you get a standing ovation from me. But reach out to her prior therapist if you have that number. Give them an idea of what's going on. Let them know your concerns and see if they should go back there or if they're going to recommend someone else for both of you guys to go, because you're going to need to know what's happening and how you can help her to help herself. Okay, and then in turn you would be helping your daughter. This is so sad, but it's very common. Take a look at that video. It's like, like I said, the title of it is When Women Find Out That Motherhood's Not All That. And it'll give you an idea of, what's going on with her. She wants her freedom back. It's hard. It's very hard. I know exactly what she's feeling. So I didn't want to stay. I'm not the kind of mama who could stay at home. I had to get out. I had to get out. I had to leave. And, but it was good because I got my space. And my husband was like, you. Oh, yeah, I guess you're a Taurus too? Isn't that what I read? He's a Taurus. And I'm like, honey, his daughter, as far as his daughter, the sun rose and set on her head as far as he was concerned. He was just like, oh, them two, I'm telling you. So, yeah, it's just really interesting to see this. But that's my suggestion. Do that tomorrow, okay? Question number 19, female. 28 to 34, Sacramento, California. She's a Capricorn. Deb, I'm struggling. I mean, I really want to leave my lying dirtbag of a fiance, but I don't want to leave his son. I'm heated right now. I found out that my fiance stole $1,000 from me. Oh my God. And this is the last straw. I've been with him for 6 years. Everything was amazing up until a year ago. He got addicted to painkillers, and it's been a huge battle ever since. It's so weird how you can love and hate someone at the same time. He lies. He tries to twist shit. I'm so over it. His son, though, is so precious. He's 9 years old and just the best kid in the world. He doesn't deserve this. No kid does. He's smart enough to realize that I'm going to break up with his dad, and today he asked me not to forget about him when I leave. Oh, can you imagine? He said it to at least call him. Oh my God, my heart would have just broken. He is literally my life. I've been raising him since he was 3, and the only reason I've been staying is that I cannot fathom seeing my fiance raise him. If I leave, he practically has no one. I don't even know what to do. This is what you do. You call social services. You call social services and you say, this is the problem. I want to leave and I want to take the son with me so he's safe. The father is, the situation expressed, like he's in no way, shape, he's no way ready or qualified to take care of this child. What do I need to do so that I can take him with me and I can legally become his foster mother? That's what you need to do. Okay, and then they'll provide you with some help, financial assistance. Maybe you in California, yeah, to do them on Medi-Cal and stuff like that. You'll have a social worker, and they'll be talking all that parental reunification crap and all that old stuff. But in the meantime, though, he would be in a safe environment with you, and Daddy could just do whatever it is that he's doing, and just do. You won't have to worry about him, and neither will the kid. That's what I would do. Now, does that mean that it's guaranteed to happen? No. But I think by the fact that he's addicted to painkillers and stealing money, it's not going to be too long before daddy's behind bars. In which case, you would have already put things in motion so that you could take this kid, especially since you've been raising him since he was 3 years old. Who else does he have? So look into that. The worst they could tell you is no, or whatever. It's going to take time. They have to get the father to sign off. I mean, there's all kind of things that might be they might tell you to do, but make sure you have enough money to afford a 2-bedroom place. Even the child must have his own room. If you can find places in a nice district where he could stay in the same school or whatever, that would be ideal. But if not, you could maybe move to the suburbs, put him in a better school. Excuse me. Oh, my throat's getting dry. Um, just call them and talk to children. What is it called? Children Family Services. It's CFS in every county across the country, but here, especially in California, and get some information about what you can do. Question number 20. This is a male, 18 to 21, from Oakland, California. He is a Sagittarius. Oh, here we go. Yeah, but he's only 9 years old. Skipping switch, he's 9. And as the girlfriend, she doesn't really have the rights to do anything. She's going to have to get some government intervention. Or, I mean, he could willingly sign him over to her. But even still, there still has to be, some court process and stuff like that involved. And maybe that's the approach the social workers would take. I don't know. Like, where's the mama in this picture? You see what I mean? There's so much unknown here. But the first step is for her to contact social services, give them the rundown of information that she has, and figure out what they can do, even if it's temporary, to get the kid away from that druggy daddy and then into a situation where he's safe and protected and cared for. Yeah, Yeah, the dad needs his butt kicked, but he's not gonna do anything until he's ready. That's the unfortunate thing about it. Nobody can make you, but if he keeps this criminal stuff up, then yeah, they will make him because he'll be locked up and it'll be part of his sentencing. Okay, this is the 18 to 21-year-old Oakland male a guy from Oakland who's a Sagittarius. He says, what's a good way to tell a woman that I'm not interested in making small talk with her ass? Oh my God. Would it be rude or a jerk thing to do to tell a woman to go talk to her boyfriend, her husband, or somebody who cares if she's trying to make small talk at work, at the gym, at school, etc.? I'm busy and doing what I'm doing. I don't want to be jaw-jacking with random women who just wasting my time. Deb, I like to be professional, so I keep it business, I keep it work, I keep it college related if I'm not interested in them in a personal way. I admit I am young and a bit rough around the edges, but I want to be better. If this is too rude, what are some ways I could say this in a nicer, more polished way? Oh, look at you. This is I appreciate this. You don't want to say what you said in the first part. You don't want to say that. One thing that works at the gym is headphones, right? So you have on your headphones and you, tune everybody out. That's the same thing that women do. Now, if you don't want to wear headphones, because maybe it's not really convenient, you have to wait around or whatever, then you can just turn and say, I appreciate your greetings, or, ashe, or whatever you're going to say, but I'm here to work out, and I really don't like to be interrupted during my workouts. Thanks. Okay, now what does that do? It's very polite, but it's very firm, and it tells her, don't just approach me, this doesn't apply to just today. This means forever. The rest of the time you see me in here, I'm here to work out, and that's what I'm here to do. Okay, so you see how I did that? And you can say it with a little smile. I mean, you don't have to be mean mugging her and stuff like you Oaklandites love to do. So you can do it with a little smile, and just be polite. All right, now, let's say you at school. I don't know, same thing. It's like, I'm here. I'm worried about my education. I'm not really here about, trying to make friends or anything else. I'm just here to, get these books. Thanks. It's really, okay, what else did you say? At work? Oh, yeah, same thing. I'm on the clock right now, so I don't think it's a good time for to be socializing and whatnot. Now, what you can do is, like you guys have any after work events and stuff like that, you can talk to people then so they don't feel like you're trying to like snub them 100%. The stuff at work is a real balancing act because, you get your reviews and then they say that, you're not a team player and, you don't want to socialize and all this kind of stuff. Okay, DC. Sunglasses and headphones at the gym. Shoot, these they be trying to save lights and power, so they be having the lights down low. You be running around there trying to feel your way around the gym like you Ray Charles or somebody. So if you want to be able to see crap, they have all the like they don't have every other bank of lights on. I mean, it's just enough. You can still see, but they saving money because there's not so many people in the gyms anymore, so they're not getting them revenue that big monthly payments like they used to get. So they had to find ways to cut corners. So it's mood lighting in the gym now. Yeah, so that's what I recommend. Do think of how in the environment and situations that you've run into, how you can shut them down and be polite and just say, I'm focusing on this task. I'm focused on this, just this goal right now. But thanks, kind of thing. Okay, you don't have to be. I want to tackle your ass. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Question number 21, female, 22 to 27, from Bradford, West Yorkshire in the UK. A lot of UK letters tonight. I've been with my boyfriend for over a year, and I still haven't met his friends or family other than his flatmate. Oh, he's met both mine, and it makes me feel sad and excluded from a large part of his life. I told him a few months ago how it makes me feel, and he promised I'd meet them soon, but so far nothing. His parents and the mother of his child don't even know I exist. I knew it. I knew it. I appreciate he wants to protect his daughter, which is why I've been patient, but it's been so long, I just don't see it happening. And if it does, it's embarrassing. His family are going to wonder why he didn't mention me for so long. If it was them, I wouldn't consider me a serious candidate. He just gone on a weekend away with his siblings, their partners, and their kids, and I feel so low and left out. Am I being stupid? Absolutely. He's still with the baby mama, or trying to get back with her, one of them too. So he's not gonna mention you because then you would screw up his plan. That would screw up his plans. Okay? You're just a side piece, chick. That's why the only person who knows about you is the flatmate. Nobody around who knows the baby mama knows about you. And he's doing that intentionally. So what I suggest is that you recognize what time it is and deuce out. Okay? She's a side piece. Uh, he's stringing her along because she want to be stringed along. You know what I mean? This is the kind of stuff somebody tells you, that all the time goes on and you never met. I mean, even the little dudes that I messed around with that was like, wasn't going to be nothing serious. I mean, we both knew that, right? I still met the uncle, the brother, the cousins' kids, the neighbor's kids, all his friends. You know what I mean? And it was like it wasn't gonna be no long-term situation. So you already know if you have a situation where you're not meet. Oh, and I met his raggedy daddy too. The only one I didn't meet was his mother. But that's a long story. But believe me, that was not. I didn't want to. Um, if you in a situation with a dude and it's like months go by and you not meet none of his people, you do sound on that because that just means you're just in the periphery of his life. You don't want to. He doesn't want you to be too close to his people. He don't want you talking. He don't want stuff getting out. You finding out stuff or you sharing stuff that you shouldn't be talking about. So he keeps everybody separated. You have a situation like that, understand what time it is and deuce out. You should have been messing with him for a year. This should have been no more than a couple of months at the most. Okay? Well, see, this is the thing, people want to say that, he's gaming and this and that. Okay, I'm going to say this. You are a woman in the 28 to 30. Oh, wait, that's the wrong letter. Which one is this? Okay, you the 22 to 27 age group. That's plenty old enough to understand that you're not getting what you want in a situation. As a grown woman, You don't stick in a situation where you're not getting your needs met. I don't know how many times I have to say this. What kind of women stay in a situation where they feel miserable and keep getting their feelings hurt over and over and over and over and over? What's wrong with you that you guys do this to yourself? This makes no damn sense. And this is the theme of all of these letters. Well, I told him, we talked about it over and over. I asked for her this, I just, okay, you asked one time. And then he said, yeah, this is going to happen. And a week later, a month later, and it still haven't happened. I'm the kind that better happen in 24 hours or I'm out. But, y'all have way more patience than me. And so, a month, okay, let's just say a month. And it still hasn't happened. Then that's when you say, you don't need anyone's permission. You don't need his buy-in. You don't need his agreement. You're experiencing something that's making you not happy. So then it is on you to do something about that. You're sitting there looking at him to change and give you what you want and do some stuff. It's obvious his needs are getting met. He's fine. He's happy, just the way the things are. The one who's not happy is you. So you take responsibility for your life as a grown woman and you make this happen. You make this what you want happen. You want a different kind of man. You want a man who's going to be a whole, involved in his life 100%. This ain't happening here. So why are you still there? And you still complaining about it over and over and over and over and over. And then writing me about it to complain about it some more instead of taking action. This kind of shit pisses me off. I don't know, skipping switch. I don't know. I don't get it. It just makes me want to flip out on the floor and do a little tantrum like I'm two. It drives me crazy. And since there's so many women just sacrificing themselves to be in a relationship where they're getting hurt over and over and over. You're not going to hurt me one time. By the time I feel even a little discomfort or annoyance, I'm out. That's when people say, well, you don't really you don't want to stick to it. I sure don't. I don't see any point. I'm not into that struggle love and trying to work stuff out with you. I'm dealing with dudes in their 40s and 50s. Okay? So if you don't know how to act by now, it's too late. Okay? It's too late. I can't help you. You something wrong with you if I have to be telling you what you need to do. Question 22. This is a female in the 57 to 65 age group from Detroit, Michigan, a Gemini. And she's talking about a male who's in the 57 to 65 age group who is a Sagittarius. What are appropriate consequences when adult children cross boundaries? They have been disrespectful to me, their mom, and now to my love interest. They called him names and told him that they don't want him in our home. Candace wrote me and asked for more specific details. Here are my answers to her questions. Does he live with you or just visit? Just visits now because he left, saying I have no boundaries or consequences with my kids. Oh, did she now? Oh, see, she knows. I'm going to be like, well, what about this? And what about that? Number 2, did he move into your home that you bought and the kids grew up in? Well, yes and no. They are talking about the home they grew up in, but he does not live here. He has his own home, and sometimes we stay over at his as well. Number 3, how long has this love interest been on the scene? We have been together for 5 years, but we are now broken up. He believes my daughter will falsely accuse him of inappropriate contact to try and get him into legal trouble. I don't believe she would ever do that, but he refuses to be anywhere near her. She lives on her own now, but he says because I have never had boundaries or consequences, I do not do what it takes to protect him in my home, and he basically has left me, saying that she could come over at any time and I would just let her come right in. If he's here, it's a mess. I spoke to a counselor who said to leave him, but I do love him. But I gotta admit, I'm getting tired of him using my daughter as a reason to not go forward in the relationship. By the way, I love my daughter. She's working full-time, kicking ass, and has a nice apartment all her own. Doesn't ask me for a penny. I'm kind of thinking I may just have to let it go and hope someone better comes along. How do I set up appropriate consequences if they act rude towards him or I? Again, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Okay, let me go back to the top of this letter. They have been disrespectful to me, their mom, and now to my love interest. They call him names and told him they don't want him in our home. And you didn't shut that shit down. You let your kids disrespect you in your house, and then you let that spill over to your man, and you didn't say nothing about it to them, about them doing it to him either. See, because you accept disrespect, does not mean that anybody else has to. And he's looking at you, wondering why you accept that from your kids. See, anything that I birthed, you gonna talk to me with respect, or I'm gonna knock your teeth out. You gonna think you gonna tell me what to do? I'm the one paying all the bills up in this bitch, and you gonna come in my house and tell me anything? I will fly you out the window. Okay, you will be in traction in the hospital somewhere. No kid is gonna tell me nothing about my house and what I do in my house. I'm the grown. I'm the mama. You do what I tell you. Any day you don't want to do what I tell you, you see that door, you put your little ass on the other side of it and you get gone. That's what you do. You don't have nothing to say about what I do in my house. That's how you were supposed to come at your kids. But see, the fact that you let them disrespect you, and then him too, you was being weak and silly. And he saw that. And he's right, because you accepted all of that nonsense. Anytime they want to come back in the house and pick up where they left off disrespecting you, you going to take that too. That's what this is all saying here. The time to have consequences for their behavior was when they were growing up, young lady, old lady, whatever, lady. Okay, that was the time when that was supposed to happen. It's too late now. They're grown and out of the house. The only thing you can do is not let them come back. Okay, they like, well, Mama, you done lost my job. Can I move in? Nope, you sure can't. All those days you cussed me and told me all about how useless I was, or whatever it was, whatever disrespectful thing they said to you, you remind them of that and tell them to go find somewhere else to stay, because they never staying with you ever again. Now, the easy thing for you to do is, and this dude, he's done. He's done. He's done. He's done. It's nothing that you can do to remedy this, because he stayed with you and showed his devotion to you for 5 years, dealing with that, and you spit in his face by never standing up to those kids and shutting them down. You did this to yourself. Don't try to blame it on your daughter. I mean, it's her fault, because it's her, responsibility for acting stupid, but ultimately it's your responsibility to check your kids in your house about your man. So on 4 times you failed, yourself and him. Please, I would body slam my daughter come getting my face talking some crazy stuff to me. Yeah, tarnished it for him. He feels so disrespected. 5 years at this age there's nothing. I mean, people date a long time at this age. That's no big deal. It's when you're young and still trying to have babies and stuff, you shouldn't be wasting your time on somebody, you in your 20s for 5 or 6 years. You in your 40s and 50s, it don't matter. You could date for 77 years. It don't matter. Everybody already had their kids and stuff. But, and you saying that you love your daughter, she's working and she got an apartment and she don't ask you for nothing. She's grown. She's not supposed to ask you for nothing. You trying to give her credit for doing something that she's supposed to do. Once they leave the house, they should not be asking you for anything. If anything, they should be coming by giving you money. That's what I used to go by and give my mother $100 here and there, $200, or give her $1,000. Whenever I had extra, I would kick her down something. Why? Because my mother suffered for us. She did without to make sure we had what we wanted. So when we got us some money, me and my brothers was benching her off cash right and left, buying her stuff, taking on trips, all kind of stuff, because she deserved that. But we treated my mother with respect. We would never think to do anything like this, to talk to her crazy. I tell her what somebody tell her guests they better get out and all this kind of stuff. Short of a man abusing you, well then they could step up and say something. He putting his hands on you or something like that, stealing your money. That's one thing, yeah. But you dating a guy, you having a nice time, you enjoying each other, you love him and he loves you, and you didn't stand up for him. He's not. This is a rap. And now what you have to do, is make sure that you figure out what you didn't do this time. So when you get somebody in the future and your kids start trying to overstep their boundaries, you shut that shit down. You tell them, shut up. I don't come in your house telling you nothing about what you do. You don't come to mine and telling me nothing about mine. Everything up in here is me. Okay, you go to your house and you command everything over there. You don't say shit here. You sit on the couch and I'll give you some coffee and cookies, and then you're going to take your butt back to your house. That's what you're going to do. And you never again going to talk to me like I have a tail. You won't come back here, period. I'm just like, I don't know if that's what you want to hear, but everything I'm seeing here, this is all your fault. This is poor parenting. Let your kids talk to you all kind of crazy like that and disrespect your man like that. Like I said, if he wasn't doing anything vile to you, there would be no reason for them to even come at him like that in the house where they ain't paying no bills. Get the fuck out. This is just ridiculous. I'm telling you, that wouldn't be my daughter. Question number 23, male, 22 to 27 from Boston. My girlfriend of just over 2 years and I went through a mutual break. Okay, that means you both agreed to it. We each had things we needed to work out, and we wanted to be friends so we can continue our relationship later on. But since then, she has been on multiple dates, which is her right, and I'm not upset about that. But while we were dating, she told me that, let's say John, quote, John, was ugly and only a friend to her, and she would never do anything with him ever. Come to find out, she has done the do with John within 2 weeks of our quote break and told me she enjoys how they can go out and do stuff and then leave with no strings attached. I feel angry. I hate her. It hurts. It really effing hurts. I feel that she lied to me and she doesn't care, but I still love her. She wants to get back together but leaves it up to me because, quote, I'm the one who needs to change, end quote. Apparently, she needs to know if she should move on or not. What should I tell her? You should tell her to move on, not because of anything like that, but my thing is this. You guys, see, if this is the part people don't understand. When you have a relationship problem so bad that you need a quote break, that's it. The relationship's over. Okay, so anything that she did and whoever she did it with is none of your concern, sir. You're confused. And likewise, if you had done the same thing, it would not be her business. Okay. So, of course you still love somebody. Just because you break up and you can't are incompatible doesn't mean that your feelings just flip off like a switch, like for normal people. Mine do though. As soon as the second I decided I'm done with you, I don't like you anymore. There's nothing about you that I like. I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to smell your breath. I don't care about your relatives. I don't care about your kids. I don't care about your mama, your job, your money, your homelessness, your stomach, nothing. It would be preferable if you died. That would probably make me very happy. I'd be okay with that. But yeah, people don't understand. Break means break up. That means you're not a couple anymore. So whatever she does and whoever she does it with is not your business. And no matter what she does now with John or Joe or Paul or Daquan or anybody, it's not your concern. See, you focusing on the wrong thing here. You need to be focusing on what you're gonna do. And she say you're the one who needs to change and leave it back to you. You say, I don't want to get back together with you. Why should I want to get back together with you? There's nothing about that relationship I want to go back to. It was nice knowing you. Then you hang up and you block her. Question number 24. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Queens, New York. I have a real serious WTF type of question. I'm losing my mind. I live in Queens. The houses here are built touching one another. New neighbors move in. Gentrification was funny until the hipsters came. Yeah, they doing the same crap in Oakland and it's just killing everybody. These people had construction drilling so hard that my walls in my room would shake. Summer from 5 a.m. on. We asked them kindly to be quieter. Now the people move in and they are extremely rude. They were pointing at our garden while they had loud guests over and saw them laughing at us. So now for months they have a stupid dog. The dog is some sort of small mutt. It's 13 years old, they told us. When they leave, it cries. It yelps and cries, etc. After we had enough, we told them. It stopped for a while, but now it's back and I work from home. My family who owns the house says I cannot say anything about this to them to maintain the peace. I'm losing my mind. It's the worst in my room. It's howling, crying, wakes me up, and professors have asked me what that is. Yes, the mutt is that loud. Wow. The thing is, I can talk to him again maybe, and he'll be quiet for a while, but then it starts again. You can hear it in every part of the house. And when I saw the dog outside, I was like, that little thing can make that much noise? I want to slap it so bad. One time, another neighbor confronted the mutt owners and said, I thought it was a child crying in distress. It dead sounds like a murder is happening sometime. I don't want karma to get me, but I hope that thing gets lost or something. Please help. I'm 18. Yeah, these hipsters. Oh man, I mean these they just are just the worst people. Don't you guys have some kind of like animal control out there? I tell you what, we had neighbors over here that was like had some dog across the street that was barking, 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 barking. Okay, after about an hour of that, I called animal control. I said, "There's somebody got a dog locked up and it's barking like a maniac, and I want you to do something about it." So they go over to the people's house, and the landlord let them in, and they took the dog. Quiet. And then the people, I don't think they ever got the dog back. Either that or they moved. I mean, whatever. I don't know. Never heard the dog anymore after that. But yeah, I mean, just barking, 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 barking. And right now it's like everybody's working at home. So we having our Zoom meetings and whatnot, which I always did do. And so, you can't be having that kind of background noise. I don't like the neighbors' kids running and playing and stuff. This lady has grandkids that come over and they run in the parking lot and make all that noise. I have to open the door and tell them to shut up. Stop making all that blankety blank noise, you brats. But yeah, that's what I would do. Call animal control. Find out what the noise ordinance is about stuff like that. It's just animal cruelty. They keep the dog locked up and it's 13 years old and it doesn't like that. Short of that, if that dog is in the outside, that dog will be having a snack. They have their vocal cords removed. Oh, well, I guess that's one thing to do. Ooh, I don't know if I'd go that far. But I used to want one of these African dogs called a Basenji. They don't really bark either. I don't know if they're bred that way. They don't really bark. They don't make no noise. But I wanted one of those because they was quiet. Yeah. Well, these gentrifiers are just a whole new breed of people, and they just are terrible. All of them. Never met any of them yet that are worth 2 cents on credit. I don't know where they come from, Idaho or somewhere, and just be stupid. All right, let's get this last question. Question number 25. Female, 18 to 21 from Los Angeles. Hi, Deb, Candace, and the squad. This might seem odd, but I need to get this off my chest. I'm 21 in the final year of college, and I have been seeing my boyfriend since my freshman year for 3.5 years. Wow, why would you date the same guy that long and you're only 21? He's 24 if that matters. This is the longest relationship I've ever had. He's a very nice guy and I really like him, but of late I feel like I'm grown out of the relationship. It just feels as if I have changed as a person and evolved to be someone else. This feeling also stems out of the fact that I feel like I missed out on a lot of craziness people do during college years. I missed out on a lot of friendships and crazy experiences my other friends had. I'm planning on moving abroad this year, and these are possibly my last few months in the U.S. There's absolutely no way in which we will be considering a long distance relationship. We have often discussed the prospect of getting into an open relationship, and he has agreed to it, but I feel like that would hurt him by doing so. I'm stuck in this constant turmoil of wanting to choose my boyfriend or exploring who I really am, sexually, mentally, socially. I'm just looking for advice on whether this feeling is normal. Is it okay to leave someone behind just because you feel like you want to explore more aspects of your personality and who you are as a woman? That is the best reason to leave someone behind. Because, as quiet as it's kept, breaking up does not have to be with, acrimonious and full of angst and pain and arguments and fights and disgust and hate and all that kind of stuff. You can agree to break up, and it is a growth process for both of you. Unfortunately, if I were your mom, I would not have let you date the same guy for 3.5 years at that age. That is just, and any young girls listening to this is so limiting. This is such a horrible thing to do to yourself. I know a lot of young girls, they want to have this boyfriend experience and, it's your first love and you just be all like caught up in it and stuff. It is the worst possible thing that you could do for yourself. Don't do it. Just date around. Don't even be serious with nobody. Don't have a boyfriend. Just go on a date with here and there and go over here, date here and there. And if you want to get a little whoopee, get some. And then you just do you. Okay? Do you at that age. Don't get tied down. Don't get married. Don't have babies. Don't get in a committed relationship. It's the worst possible thing you could do during your college years. That's just the worst thing that you could ever do. You don't need to do that to yourself. So all this life experience, all the growth that you should have been doing, experimenting and hanging out with friends and traveling with your girlfriends and going all this kind of stuff that you should have been doing, going to exchange student things and going cross country hikes and going on Euro trips and all this kind of stuff. You didn't do any of that because you were stuck here, worrying about this boyfriend. It's the worst possible thing. Like you could do them, you got some 20, 21-year-old people, they gonna do some whoopee. Don't just forget about that. That's gonna happen. But you do it in a sensible, sane way where you don't have no babies and you make sure you use your protection. Okay? No babies. And, this kind of thing here, luckily you have a built-in reason you're going to be moving across the world. That is the best thing you could do for yourself. And, just let that go. I mean, you might see them online or something and say hi, whatever. But, the idea of thinking that you're going to continue being tied down to this guy, let it go. Okay. Let it go. All the growth and the changing that you do in your 20s, you have to start getting on that path. You've kept yourself in a cage all this time. And so you're a little behind there. Okay. So let go and move on. Fly free. Enjoy what you're going to be doing for yourself. Get all the experiences while you're overseas that you can. Go out with guys from different countries. Learn how to cook different foods. Learn how to speak different languages. Go to different countries. Do stuff that's going to enrich your life, and stop worrying about some man and what he wants for you to do and what he doesn't want to do and all that stuff. Don't worry about that. Don't tie yourself down to nobody. Do what you want to do and go where you want to go. Okay? That's the best thing you could do for yourself. You can, stay around over there, and, you get about 30 years old, then you can think about getting married. But I would not recommend any woman get married before the age of 28. I've talked about that, the Saturn's return thing where you change. You about to enter it. This next 7 years is going to be the most amazing years of your life. You do not need to be involved with no man. Okay? Just let it go. Be free. Oh, yes. French kiss a French guy. French kiss Italians, too. Whew, my God. Yes. Just have yourself some fun anyway. In other words, be smart. Don't be going over there, hanging out with people that are stupid and, getting drunk or not watching your drinks and letting people slip drinks, stuff in your drinks and stuff like that. I mean, maintain your, sensibilities. But, try to have as much fun as you can and do not tie yourself down. Okay? Don't do that. So anyway, that was our column for today. I'm glad you guys. Yes, honey, I've never met an Italian man yet who didn't have something about him that was going on that would make you go, hi, what your name is? That's me, honey, because I want to know. So anyway, if you are not a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscription button. You know why? Starting next Tuesday, it's February 1st, and that's when Deborrah starts a video every single day on this channel. Sometimes it's going to be 2 brand new videos every single day for 28 days, the 28 days of February. And it's all stuff around helping you win at life. That's our theme this year, winning at life. And there's people going to be talking about how you can improve your health and, how to set boundaries and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I put a listing of some of the topics that we're going to be talking about up on the community wall on the channel on YouTube. You can take a look at it. I also interviewed a lady who is going to be talking about, aging beautifully, aging gracefully, which I think is something. That's why I put that age survey up on the community wall. I want to try to get an idea where everybody is. So we talked about some things that you can start doing in your, late 20s to 40s to get yourself ready for when you are in your 60s, taking care of your skin, taking care of your body, taking care of your health, taking care of your mind, yourself emotionally and spiritually. It was a great conversation. She was really interesting. So I got all kinds of wonderful stuff for you guys. I'm pretty excited. The content this year is just fabulous. I'm telling you. And so make sure you become a subscriber so you don't miss anything. What else do I have to say here? Trying to think. I can't remember what I was going to say. But anyway, yes, just make sure that you're here for February 1st. To when this all begins. There'll be a show right before What the Fuck Tuesday next week. That's going to be the first of the February videos. And then we'll go on from there, okay? So you guys, thank you for coming. Thanks for enjoying What the Fuck Tuesday with me. If you have a question that you want to submit, look in the show description down below. You can click the link and submit your question for a future column. We always have about 25 questions, so it's a good likelihood yours will be selected. And then hit that subscribe button before you go. And hit the like, too, while you're at it. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.